If you've seen more foxes in your neighborhood, there's a reason. Young foxes, called kits or pups, are maturing and spending more time outside of their den. And that's why sightings of them and adult foxes are more likely. Joining us this morning is Christopher Kent, a wildlife biologist for the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission. Chris, so nice of you to join us this morning.
Thank you for having me, Jeff. Good morning.
So how many species of fox live in North Carolina?
So we have two species of foxes in North Carolina. We've got red foxes and gray foxes.
And you were telling me an interesting story yesterday about the red fox. They were brought here, right?
That's correct. They were brought here by Europeans, and so they've been here long enough now that they would be considered a native species. But the gray fox is the truly native species of North Carolina.
And I think you said a fox is about the size of what, a cat? A typical house cat just has a bushy tail?
Yeah, they're a little bit longer than house cats with that big bushy tail that can even be about a third of their body. But typically 7 to 15 pounds would be about the average size of a fox.
So Chris, why are we seeing more fox right now?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. As you mentioned in the beginning of the story, this is kit rearing season. So the pups have been in the den. Now they're old enough to where they're being more active, coming out of the den, wrestling with each other, chasing each other around, playing, doing things that little kids do. But also, as you mentioned earlier as well, the COVID-19, there's a lot more people at home these days. And I suspect instead of going to work or doing a lot of the activities that they typically might do outside, people are spending more time at home and perhaps noticing more animals as well.
And we were also talking yesterday about how a lot of development in Brunswick-County, New-Hanover-County, and some parts of Pender-County may be making those animals, find new habitat, right?
That could be part of the story. Yeah, along our coast, I mean, let's face it, we have a beautiful area here. We've got terrific weather. Many people want to move to this area. So our coast has seen unprecedented development over the years. And, as neighborhoods are built and forests cleared, highways, overpasses, bypasses built, that can often push wildlife out of those areas and into residential areas. However, foxes, raccoons, opossums, skunks, even coyotes, many of animals like that, they're very well adapted to live right in amongst our houses. Many times it's a food source that is provided by people, and oftentimes that is even unwillingly or unknowingly. Many people have outdoor pets. They might leave cat food or dog food out on their back porch or in the backyard at all times, so their pets have food, water bowls, bird feeders that drop seed on the ground that might attract squirrels, unsecured trash cans. There's a lot of food sources that people often have around their houses, and many times those food sources are the attractant that bring these animals around.
And we have some of those tips we want to show you as well. A very good idea not to feed wildlife. I know our inclination is to want to do that, but we probably should just let them take care of themselves, because otherwise we're going to create a worse problem, right?
Yeah, I mean, people who enjoy wildlife, sometimes, folks will put corn and food out on their property because they enjoy seeing wildlife, but perhaps their neighbors don't want those same wild animals coming through their yards. And so to be respectful, I would encourage you to ask your neighbors, are you okay if I put some corn out to feed the animals? And if not, maybe be respectful of that. But if you don't want these animals coming around your property, then the typical response that a person has, pulling out their phone to take a picture of the animal or just staring at the animal through a glass door or window, things like that, the animal doesn't experience anything that would be scary or alarming as it passes through your yard. So if you don't want these animals in your property or in your yard when they come by, a little bit of hazing can go a long way. Making loud noises, banging pots and pans, throwing something in their direction, spraying them with a garden hose, things like that are not going to hurt the animal, but will teach the animal to respect humans and to be fearful of humans. And down the road, that can actually be very beneficial for that animal, so they don't get in trouble by being attacked by a dog or hit by a car in a neighborhood.
Lots of good information there, and we'll put all of these tips and a phone number you can call also if you need to report a fox. We're out of time, Christopher. Christopher Kent, a wildlife biologist with the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission. Again, thank you for your time and all this useful information. We appreciate it.